Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Varadari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Nandana Vraja Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Nandana Vraja Yamunatira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Madhava Radhe Radha Madhava Madhava Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Gaur Premanande Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parijasikari Stottra Shata Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parijasikari Stottra Shata Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Pitai Gaur Premanande, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirahe Nastapráyeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavate Uttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for coming this morning Bhagavatam class. We are going to speak on this verse today. Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 58th chapter, 24th verse. Yadaiva Krishnaha Sanditaha Prarthanam Paramadbhutam Karyam Asa Nigram Nagaram Vichintram Vishwakarmana Yadaiva Krishna Sandhita Parthanam Paramadbhutam Karyam Asya Nagaram Vichitram Vishwakarmana Yadaiva Krishna Sandhitaha Parthanam Paramadbhutam Karyam Asanagaram Vichitram Vishwakarmana Yadaiva Krishna Sandhitaha Parthanam Paramadbhutam Karyam Asanagaram Vichitram Vishwakarmanam. Please chant. Yadaiva Krishna Sandhitaha Parthanam Paramadbhutam Karyamasanagaram Vichitram Vishwakarmana. Yadaiva Krishna Sandhitaha Parthanam Paramadbhutam Karyamasanagaram Vichitram Vishwakarmana. Yadaiva Sanskra Sandhista Parthanam Paramadbhutam Karyamarshitanaгаram Vichitram Vishwakarmana. What word meaning? Yadaiva, when Krishna, Lord Krishna, Sandhitaha, requested, Parthanam, for the sons of Partha, Paramam, most, Adbhutam, amazing, Karyamasa, he had constructed Nagaram, a city, Vichitram, full of variety, Vishwakarmana, by Vishwakarma, the architect of demigod. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Describing the previous incident, Sukadeva Goswami said, upon the request of the Pandavas, Lord Krishna had Vishwakarma built in the most wonderful and amazing city. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti mentions that this city was constructed before the burning of Kandava forest, hence before Lord Krishna has bride Kalindi. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshorulmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadadikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Anantakoti Vaishnavvrinda Ki Jai. So, so here we see that Lord Krishna is how much favorable and how much merciful towards his devotees, and at the same time loving and caring for him. Whenever the Lord Krishna wants to serve his devotees, he serves the best. He chooses the best thing to give the devotees. That's what we see here. Lord Krishna requested um, here Vishwakarma is a architect of demigods, and he's one of the best of the architect, because whenever there is a construction of the city or a mansion, he chooses the best, and he has great record, and he was the main architect for the building Dwaraka also. When Lord Krishna wants to build Dwaraka, so he was a main architect, and he built in one day. So I just did a little research on him. So I just came to know few words, and he is the most famous among the demigods, and he was the best for the building anything uh, related to the Lord Krishna's mission. So he is the best for the all the thing, because he built a Dwaraka city in one day itself. Can you imagine? You know, it's on the ocean, and he built very magnanimous, the most beautiful architect. He built Dwaraka city, so it was built in only one day. So, and here we see the different acharyas comments on this purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the order of the event is the first, the building of the city, and then burning of Kandava forest, and then building of the assembly hall, and then gaining the Kalindi, his wife. Being requested by the Pandavas, he had Vishwakarma build the city. So it is order is like, why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this is to know the details of the pastimes of the Lord. You know, some may interpret and some may do mental speculation, like, after burning the Kandava forest, this has happened, to avoid the mental speculation and to avoid the misconception. That's why Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives step by step the order of the events, the order of the process took place. First action is building of the city. Second, burning of the Kanda forest. Then building the assembly hall. Then gaining the wife of Kalindi. So this sequence is given to understand the us and to go deeper in the pastimes of the Lord. So we see this, and also Jiva Goswami says that the Lord acted for the benefit of the Pandavas in another way. This is a previous incident explained in the four verses. The order of this event is the city was built, and then the Kanda forest was burned, and then Arjuna took the assembly hall from that place. Finally, Krishna accepted Kalindi. The word Eva indicates that Krishna was under control of the Pandavas. At their request alone, he had built the city. The city was most astonishing because it was varied, endowed with a multifarious splendors from the 14 worlds. So here is the work and here is the glory of Vishwakarma, because there is no comparison, there is no equal, or this is the benchmark, I would say, that Lord has requested Vishwakarma to build the Indraprastha palace for the Pandavas. So as I said, Krishna, whatever he gives to the devotees, he gives the best thing. So one should have a faith on that. And second thing is, Lord Krishna was under control of the Pandavas. And most of the time, Lord Krishna used to stay in the with the Pandavas and having them all kind of transactions, because Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in many places, I was bound by the devotees. We see in Damodar pastime, Lord Krishna was bound by Mother Yashoda. And whenever, however, Lord Krishna says, whatever Krishna says, and normal people have to obey. But the devotees of the Lord Krishna are so glorious that whatever the devotee says, Lord Krishna has to obey. So that's the thing. So we see the many incidents like in the history of our scriptures, where Vidura uh, served the Lord Krishna with a banana, you know, not banana exactly, but he served the peeler of the bananas. But still, Lord Krishna ate. No one wants to eat the peeler, of the banana, outside of the banana. Everybody wants to eat the banana itself, but not the shell. But out of love, Vidura has served them the shell of the banana, but still Lord accepted. But whereas Duryodhana was serving him chapan bhog, many items, many delicious items, but Lord did not accept, because Lord sees only the love of the devotees. And I'll just read what Sanatana Goswami comments. The Lord acted in the benefit of the Pandavas in another way. This is the previous incident explained in four verses. Basically, is explaining the same thing. Only because of the Pandavas' request, he who directly Swayam Bhagavan Krishna had built the city asked to build the city by Vishwakarma. It was most astonishing, indescribable, or beyond all human capacity, because it is endowed with the various beauties of 14 worlds. It was greater than Indra's cities. So we understand, um from material point of view, if we see any mansion or any palace, we say, wow, this was beautiful construction or beautiful architect. And what to speak of Indra's palace? Of course, we haven't have any experience of seeing Indra's palace, because he's a demigod. But we understand from the scriptures that Indra's palace is how glorious and how beautiful and how magnanimous Indra's palace is. But this construction of Indra Vishwakarma, the palace which was built by for the Pandavas, that even more glorious than the Indra's palace. So imagine how glorious it must be, and it is even Srila Sanatana Goswami is saying that is most astonishing, indescribable, beyond all human capacity, and and it is varieties of beauties, and it is no comparison between the 14 worlds. 14 worlds also we cannot see this much this beauty of the Indraprastha palace. So that's where got envy of Duryodhana when he was called to opening ceremony of the Indraprastha. When he came, Duryodhana there. This is a little bit from Mahabharata. He came there and he saw this magnanimous construction, magnanimous work by Vishwakarma, and he got so much envious, and from there he fell into the water, and so on story goes like that. Then he got even more insulted when it said that Draupadi was laughing at him because he thought that there is a water and there was no water, and he felt in the pond. He saw the two images. In one images there was a water, but it was covered, but he was walking in that, and he thought the same thing is another pond, but he fell into that, and he was insulted greatly. From there, that envy is a root cause of whole Mahabharat took place. So we can understand a person has envy, how much he can destroy the city, and how much he can do the harmful for the society, just because he was so much enviousness of the work done by Vishwakarma, because he was so envious because the work which he has done, Vishwakarma, it is not even compared to the 14 worlds. So that much glorious of this planet. So from there Mahabharata took place, and we see that all the incidents root cause of that is enviousness. So as a devotees of the Lord, we should pray for the Krishna to be not be enviousness for others prosperity or others glorious. We should be always seeing in the uh, seeing as their victorious, as their success, not his success. Even we can understand that Srila Prabhupada was also, when he came to the western country, and he was making the rapid progress and building the temple, even his god brothers are also envious. You know, by that we can understand that everyone, Srila Prabhupada told that everyone in this world, almost everyone, are enviousness of each other's progress or each other's glorious. So we should be carefully avoiding this thing and this enviousness nature, and try to be part of their success. Srila Prabhupada wrote in the letter, in the conversation, it says that my godbrothers, they are trying to be suppress me. They are writing articles that foreign countries Rathayatra is going on. So many temples have been built, but they will never mention my name. They are suppressed. The whole world is envious. The whole world. I am envious to you, you are envious of me. Then Bhagavad Gita is not meant for such envious people. Such a strong letter. Reference from Vedabase. It's a garden conversation, September 10th, 1974, Vrindavan. So by this we can understand this. The only way of removing envious is serving the other devotees. It's a simple basic formula and basic tip, or I would say basic um, tool to remove the enviousness nature, which has already given by Srila Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Instruction. Dadati pratigruhanati guhyamakyati prakshati bhunke bhujete vasadvidam priti laksham. So serving, having six kind of exchanges, then you can overcome that enviousness nature. If you like somebody is doing wonderful deity dressing, if you see somebody doing wonderful kirtan, if you're doing somebody, you know giving such a nice class, or if you see somebody doing service, devotional service very nicely, if you're envious of that person, then that means you are indirectly envious of the Supreme Lord. Here we see Duryodhana was envious of the Pandavas. If you are envious of the Pandavas, and you are indirectly envious of the Lord. Similarly, just like analogy, I can give just an analogy. Srila Prabhupada always tells, if you want to love me, love my dog. Correct? If you love my dog, you love me. If you hate my dog, you also hate me. Similarly, the same context applies here. If you love my devotees, then you naturally love for me. If you don't love my devotees, then there is no nature. If you envious of my devotees, then obviously that envious nature towards me. Because Lord Krishna says that whatever you see the magnanimous, whatever you see the beautiful qualities, or most astonishing thing, or most glorious thing in the person, that is me. I am empowering my devotee to be glorious. I am empowering my devotee to become such a big preacher, or to become such a big kirtaniya, or to become such a great devotee. And Srila Prabhupada was such a person. He was empowered by Lord Krishna himself. That's the reason. So one should not be envious of the activity, or a glorious action, or glorious thing which is performed, executed by the devotees. One should be always serving them. If you serve them, you will also get the same quality of that devotee. So here we see Vishwakarma was built as most astonishing, wonderful um, action. My wonderful palace was built for the Pandavas, because since Lord Krishna has requested. So this is a little uh, comment on this today's verse, and also I would just like to remind you all that um, one of the such a glorious devotee of the Lord, one of the such a magnanimous and one of the so most merciful devotee of the Lord, His Holiness Kadamakanand Swami Maharaj, was passed away last night in United States timing, but Indian timing he was passed away 12:55, I guess. So I just got a message from one of my grandbrother. I just read that how His Holiness Kadama Kanal Maharaj departs this world. We all know he's a wonderful kirtaniya and wonderful preacher. He is known for his famous kirtans. I'm the one of the biggest um, fan of his kirtans. I grew up hearing his kirtans. I feel so sad that he left us um, in this world. And because of his kirtans, I was so inspired. And his kirtan was so inspiration for me personally. And I got a chance to serve him in 2010. Uh, but after that, I haven't met him. But I was always of his, hearing his kirtans, lectures, classes, and all kinds of retreats, all the other talks. He gives a very wonderful classes, simple classes, but very strong faith. By hearing his classes, I get a strong faith in devotional service. I will get a strong, you know, faith towards Lord Krishna, and by hearing his classes, my inspiration becomes double, and he's my motivational speaker, and speaking or by hearing his classes, whenever I was feeling so bad. After hearing classes, I get enthusiasms to perform any kind of activity. So this is my thought. And one of the devotee wrote uh, about his glorious departure. I just read. On Thursday, 9th March at 12:06 p.m., under the gaze of Giriraj, Sri Giriraj, in the holy land of Sri Vrindavan Dham, in the loving company of his spiritual master and Vaishnavas, with a resounding kirtan party, His Holiness Kadamakanand Swami Maharaj departed from this material realm. In the coming hours, um, we will see, if you get a chance, we can see any Vrindavan sites. You will understand that they are going to publish his departure video, and his little comment on this taking shelter of Vrindavan. An intelligent person who takes a shelter of beautiful Vrindavan's opulent winds, melting with a mortary love, and throw away far the idea of the material thoughts, become supremely successful both in his life and also after death. This was from Prabodhananda Saraswati from Vrindavan Mahatma, Vrindavan Glories of Vrindavan. This was one devotee who wrote. And another thing which is very very important, so it is just like astrological chart of passing away Kadamakanand Maharaj. So it is very very important that a person when he is born or taking birth in this planet, in this world, we'll see an astrological chart. According to astrological chart, the place of birth at the time of birth, then the future of the child will be decided. At the same time, the passing away of the person, whenever a person departure from this world, at the passing moment and the passing the place and the stars accordingly, then astrological calculations are made. Then the astrological, after making the astrological calculations, then we can see that where that person is destiny, where is he going after departing this world. So one devotee wrote, is a good in astrological chart. So he wrote of glorious departure of His Holiness Kadambakar Maharaj. I just read for you. Today is a glorious day of our Guru Maharaj. So our Guru Maharaj blessed me with his personal detail of birth and told me when he leaves this world I should speak out about his glorious departure. So today Guru Maharaj left this world. It is very clear that he went to the highest abode of spiritual world. This is what chart shows. So little bit technical here. Just be patient because he used some technical terms here. The ruler of the seventh house, which is representing the door of Dwara to the other worlds, is glorious Jupiter in a very high dignity, placed in the 10th house. Jupiter positioned together with the exalted Venus in the Pinus, which means that the princes mean praying to the Supreme Lord Krishna to become her husband. There is no curse upon these two planets mentioned above. So during this time, during this time, Lord Krishna's God getting the prayers from Princess of Mean that to be that husband. So this is a time where Kadamakanand Maharaj passed away. Jupiter is representing the knowledge and the Supreme Lord Himself. Venus is exaltating the represent of pure love of Krishna. Ketu is Shauna, one who is floating above the material world to take up pious qualified souls to the spiritual realm. Because Venus is in Prithivan and with the Ketu that is resulting with the two Parama yogis. So that means two acharyas from our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya came to rise. Guru Maharaj up to the spiritual abode. Guru Maharaj did not get up from his own hand, but he was raised by two acharyas from our parampara. So this is the thing. Guru Maharaj is always saying that Srila Prabhupada's and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy will be upon us and save us at a crucial moment of death. On several occasions, Guru Maharaj showed mercy upon me. This is when I was analyzing and discussing Guru Maharaj chart with him. I told him that how astrological chart tremendously similar to the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's chart. He was aware of this fact. So beside these other similarities, I want to highlight the most exalted similarity, that is unnamed Krishna, ecstatic love for Krishna. But my Guru Maharaj gave me instruction that I should speak about the chart only after his departure. By the arrangement of Supreme Will, today Tukaram Jayanti, that is, on this auspicious day, Saint Tukaram abode with his very body on the spiritual plane to the spiritual world, with so many thousands of people witnessing this event. The Tukaram is one of the greatest saints during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time. He was most glorious devotee. This is little bit uh, story of Saint Tukaram. He was a most glorious devotee, and he was a worshipper of Panduranga Vittal. So he left this planet with the same body, and his movement was chanting the glories of the holy name of the Lord. He used to always glorify the holy name, and he used to always chant the holy name of the Lord. And one time again, there was always people who are envious, and he wrote so many bhajans glorifying the Lord Vittal, Panduranga Vittal. So he wrote, it's called abhangas. So he wrote many abhangas, many literature, many songs glorifying the Supreme Lord. Those were stolen by some envious people, and they put it, they said that this is all poison, these are all speaking nonsense. Some envious people said that, and the king also, Chhatrapati Shivaji, he's also greatest saint king, and he was also glorifying Tukaram. One time what happened, and there are different stories. Some say that they all threw it away in the Ganges, and after 7 days, he was, when they threw it away, those abhangas, those scriptures, those glorifying books into the Ganges, he was sitting there meditating upon those bhajans for 7 days or 15 days, I'm not sure. For 15 days he was fasting, sitting on the bank of that river, and after 15th day, goddess of Saraswati took all the bhajans and gave it to him personally. These are all bona fide. These are all really glorification of the Lord. Some say this one, and some others says that automatically those books came out of from the Ganges, and everybody was appreciating his glorious. And while leaving this world, the spiritual plane, Vaikuntha plane, it came onto the earthly planet with the same body he left. So that is little bit story of Tukaram. So here also this devotee is mentioning that today is a Tukaram Jayanti, which means his birthday. This most auspicious day, Saint Tukaram aboded his very body on a spiritual plane to the spiritual world, with so many thousands of people witnessing this event. It's not that some like without your with the say without anybody's noticed he left this world, no, or without he did some magic, some smoke came, he disappeared. No. With the witnessing of thousands of people, he aboded He went into the spiritual plane and departed this world. So this devotee is mentioning the same today, 9th March of the Jayanti of Saint Tukaram, and continuing this. So that that time has come. I would like to announce the whole world that Guru Maharaj's departure is extremely glorious. Let's pray together as a one family and celebrate the treasure all the glorious moments each day, every year after year with beloved Guru Maharaj. Let's all offer our hearts and mostly follow his instructions. As he is always watching and guiding us to join him in the spiritual realm one day. This lifetime, let's all cooperate and take shelter of magnificent movement of Srila Prabhupada towards our own capacity of pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also wrote a short stanza about influence of the Vaishnava of a pure devotee of the Lord carries in this whole world even after his passing. He's, he reasons ill who tells that Vaishnava dies with no art of still living around in sound. The Vaishnava who die to live and trying to and living try to spread the holy name around the world. Once again I'll read. He reasons ill who tells that Vaishnava die when thou art living still in the sound. The Vaishnava die to live and living try to spread the holy name of around the world. Always in the service. Thank you so much. If you have any comments or anything you like to share about Maharaj, you can share. Otherwise, we can close. Okay, Mataji, you can take the mic. You can take the mic. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Um, it was a question about the class part, if that's
Yes.
all right. You had mentioned that, like, when we have an envious spirit to serve the devotees, and in that service, that we also get the qualities of that devotee. And could you just elaborate on that concept or what that means?
Yeah, actually, it bases on that. See, a person why he's envious. First, we should understand something you are performing activity better than other devotee, better than other person. Then you get enviousness nature. These anarthas are there in our heart. That is the first reason. First, we need to understand that these anarthas, to get rid of anarthas, we need to work hard. First thing. Second thing is the root cause of enviousness nature is we already have enviousness towards Supreme Lord. That's why we are here. That's the main root cause of envious nature. Because we don't want to see Supreme Lord enjoying all his opulences, all his activities. We want to have separately enjoy from the Lord, because we don't want person who is getting all kind of facilities, getting all kinds of respect, getting all kind of things. The root cause is Supreme Lord, because our root cause of envy is Supreme Lord. We should not be envious of the Supreme Lord. Since we are envious of Supreme Lord, that's why we are here. If you are not a non-envious, we will be not here. We'll be there with Supreme Lord. That's the first thing. And second thing is that to avoid this enviousness nature, there are many things. First thing is to deliberately chanting the holy name of the Lord. First thing, which all the scriptures, all the shastras mention, and chanting attentively, then you will not get the envious nature. And second thing is that when you are enviousness, then Srila Prabhupada says that, oh, my god brother or my god sister He's chanting very nicely, he's giving class very nicely, or he's doing very service nicely. You don't be envious of your family member, right? If your brother or if your sister, they are becoming, they are showing extraordinary activity, you don't become enviousness. You become their part of their success. Correct. And another thing is, why a person will be envious? Because of, he's getting lots of respect, lots of attention, lots of lots of greetings. Just like a manager and a kirtaniya will not have envious, because manager department is different and kirtaniya department is different. He will glorify manager. Oh, you're such a good manager, you do all the things very nicely. You do, in that way he glorious. And manager glorifies kirtaniya. Oh, you do very nice kirtan, and you do, very, you sing very different tunes. That is, there is no enviousness nature. And a preacher and a kirtaniya will not have enviousness nature. A preacher will say, oh no, you do very nice kirtan, and kirtaniya will say, oh, you give very nice classes. But the problem where comes, kirtaniya, manager, and a preacher. You see that preacher is, he's quoting so many slokas, or he's giving, wonderful seminars, wonderful talk shows. You'll get, oh, how should I become? How should I pull down him? And Kirtaniyas get envious of another Kirtaniya. Oh, he's singing so many tunes. Oh, he's getting lots of attention. Oh, he's getting lots of respect. And he's being called by other devotees all the time, not me. So, in that, you get that. And the preacher also same thing. So, to avoid, so serving means just, you know, just be part of his activity, just serve him, like, pray. First thing is praying to the Supreme Lord, that, oh Krishna, I'm my, this is not my nature, but I am becoming envious of him, so please remove the obstacles. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a elaborate description on this, of enviousness nature. Like each, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives represent, he's saying in one of his teachings that each demon in Vrindavan represents something. Like Putana represents the envy, or something like that. In that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that enviousness in nature also represent demon Dhenukasura. Dhenukasura wants to have everything with, all the fruits, that Talavan forest, all the fruits with him. He doesn't want to give to anybody, and doesn't want to have share with anybody. So when you Krishna pastimes, if you read those pastimes and memorize, sorry, remember those pastimes and contemplate on those pastimes, this envious nature can be removed. Of course, it is easier said to be done again, correct? But it always comes up. But our duty is to clean. We should not be neglectful, or we should not be lazy for cleaning these dirty things. It's just like you know when you don't clean this place, obviously this temple hall becomes dirty, correct? Similarly, when you don't clean our mind, intelligence, with the chanting holy name or reading the Bhagavad Gita scriptures, then obviously this mind becomes dirty. So the dirty things will manifest into words. The words will manifest into actions. The actions manifest into a character of a person. Just a thought of envy, you just envious of somebody, that he's doing very nice job. That's just little thought will transform into, words. You will speak ill about him. Oh, what he does, he may be doing this service very nicely, but he's not good in this. You start speaking ill about him, or you ignore him, you don't respect him. That is in words, and slowly it turns into action. You do something bad to him. It's just like you don't wish him. That's into action. You don't greet him, or you avoid him. or you avoid talking to him, or you avoid sitting with him, or you avoid sharing something. That's into action, and that action becomes into your character. Your character will become, whenever that person be around with you, you just neglect him. You become so envious of that. So to avoid these things, it is will nature will always gives you many different varieties of anarthas. We have already anarthas, but our job is to clean those anarthas, not to be neglectful, not to be lazy. That's why morning program is very very important. So when you take the mercy of the Lord and chant attentively, naturally your mind will not get into that envious mode of nature. Otherwise, if you are lazy in cleaning our mind, uh, then those qualities will manifest. It's not that those qualities will come upon us, it's already there in our heart. Our job is to clean that with like how we clean the floor, or how we clean the pot with a with a scrub and brush crush. So similarly, we should get rid of this nature by thoroughly reading the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, then chanting the holy name, and listening to the Bhagavatam classes, and hearing the speeches. I hope this is okay with you. Okay, thank you so much, Vijay. Okay, we'll stop here. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go.